What's up guys, Rapscallion here, coming at you with another Halo Infinite multiplayer video. So in my previous video we discussed the aspects of Infinite's multiplayer that actually had me worried about the game. So if you haven't checked that video out already, definitely be sure to do so. A lot of you guys loved it and a lot of you hated it, but I would love to get your guys' feedback and see what you think about it. Also, if you haven't done so, be sure to give the video a like and hit subscribe and all that good stuff. I'm actually trying to hit 1,000 subs before Infinite's flight comes out this summer. We're sitting at about 950 right now, and if we can hit that goal, that would be awesome. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video and talk about stuff that actually has me excited for Halo Infinite's multiplayer. So the first thing, which really goes without saying, is just the sheer fact that it has been 6 years since we've actually got a new Halo game. We were all super excited when we actually got to see gameplay at E3 2020, and then just to find out a week or so later that the game was going to be delayed. And that in and of itself has really just hyped up the release of this game, that now that we've actually seen how that year's delay has actually paid off and how good everything now looks. Just the anticipation for this game is through the roof right now. I grinded Halo 5 and got max rank SR-152 for an at the time unknown reward, which we now know of course is the Watchdog armor coating and the weapon coating. I've just been excited for this game for a very long time now, and now that we've actually got to see the multiplayer in action and we know that it's coming out this year, it just suddenly seems very real, and it's got me just super giddy, and I cannot wait to play it. So the next thing that I'm actually looking forward to is actually trying out the new weapons. Like the skewer, like that thing looks ridiculously OP and super fun to use. Like the clip that we saw where the guy just scopes in and just obliterates a warthog, sends the thing just flying in multiple pieces and sends it off the map. Like that looks so cool. And actually with the skewer, we haven't seen it in action just yet, but apparently you can actually fire it at Spartans, and if they're close enough to a wall, it'll actually impale them and stick them to the wall. Like, how sick is that? Like, that's awesome. Another weapon I'm really looking forward to trying out is whatever that Forerunner looking weapon is with the bullets that can ricochet off the walls and the roof. I'm really interested to see how the alternate firing mode mechanic is going to work, and whether or not that alternate firing mode is going to be on other weapons of whatever faction this weapon belongs to. Just the potential of like insane plays with ricocheting stuff off the walls and the roofs like that is just really cool, and I can't wait to actually see it in action and get my hands on it. Then of course there's the Brute Mangler, which we haven't actually seen in multiplayer just yet, but we got to see it in the campaign demo in 2020, and that thing looks like it's a Magnum or like a hand cannon type weapon. Just looks like it packs like a super heavy punch, plus whatever weapons we haven't even seen yet. It's going to be great to be able to use that Halo 2 style looking BR and the new sniper, especially in combo with the grapple shot like what we saw in the trailer. Just shoots it up at the roof and no scopes the dude in the face. Like what? Like, I cannot wait to do stuff like that myself. And that's another thing I'm really looking forward to, is just the sandbox in general. Like new maps, all the new equipment that we have, and how all of that is going to interact with each other. I cannot wait to actually try all that stuff out. Like, I imagine a scenario with two opposing players, like the scenario we saw in the trailer with the repulsor where he swats the plasma bolt back. But imagine if the other player has a repulsor and he swats it back at him, and then all of a sudden you're in the middle of a plasma bolt tennis match. Not to mention the cool jumps that it looks like you'll be able to pull off with the repulsor. And stuff like the grapple shot has so much potential with the different things that you can do with it. Like, it seems like such a versatile equipment. So we know that, you know, of course we can grapple shot and hook on to things like vehicles and enemy players and like the roofs and walls and things like that. So the mobility alone is really cool. Just think of the jukes and the flanks that you can pull off with that thing. Plus, you can actually grapple objectives, so you can snatch an enemy flag out of their base from a distance, and you can grab oddballs and things like that. Like, that alone seems really cool. Just the plays that you can imagine in your head. Like, it just all seems super fun, and I can't wait to try it out myself. And then, of course, there's the vehicle destruction where you can pop tires. The Doom State, that's actually been introduced into Infinite, where the vehicle will actually turn a bright red and then explode after it takes a certain amount of damage or a certain amount of time has passed. Like, there's just so many cool, nuanced changes that I'm really looking forward to seeing. Then, of course, there's the new maps themselves that all this stuff is going to be taking place on. I can't wait to actually see all the new maps. From what we've seen, like, a lot of them look very different and varied from one another. So I can't wait to actually explore and learn all these new maps and maybe see some old maps come back with a new fresh coat of paint. And speaking of maps, I should also mention that the gameplay that you've seen sparse throughout the video is actually a Forge remake in Halo 5 of Livefire, one of the new Infinite maps that we got to see in the multiplayer trailer, and that was actually made by Unknown Emerald. And I'll have all his info in the description below and the Halo Waypoint link to this map if you actually want to try it out for yourself. The next thing that I'm excited about in Halo Infinite is the customization. The sheer level of customization in this game is just ridiculous. Your gloves, knee pads, shoulders, helmet, chest, visors, even your Spartan's body under the suit. I'm still holding out to see if the face can be customized. We don't actually know that yet, but I think that would be really cool. We might possibly even be able to have multiple suits that you can swap between on the fly. Weapon coatings, charms, vehicle skins, personal AI, your HUD, enemy colors and their outlines, their base color, objective colors, etc. Even the fusion coils can be customized, and there's even more stuff that we haven't even seen yet. Just the customization is insane, and I cannot wait to dive into it and see what all we can do. The next thing I'm looking forward to is the Battle Pass and the unlock system. I really like the path that 343 has chosen to go about this. With the Battle Pass itself, I like how they have actually come out and said that the Battle Pass does not actually expire. So if the season is over and it goes to the next, you can actually still go back and unlock stuff from previous Battle Passes. And I think that's really cool. And actually, people from other games are now looking at that and be like, hey, like what the hell? Why can't we have that ourselves? So they really have already set a precedent for that. I also really like the fact that you don't even really necessarily have to have the Battle Pass. You can actually just unlock stuff just by playing the game for free, like the Yanoi armor, that badass looking samurai armor that we got to see. I also like how they specifically mentioned that if you unlock something in the game just by playing it, other players aren't going to be able to circumvent that by just buying it. It really annoyed me in Halo 5 when I unlocked Helios Grill by beating all the campaigns in MCC on Legendary, just so 343 could later add a slightly different version that everyone else could have. That kind of ruined what made that armor special for me. So to have things that you can only unlock by completing challenges is really, really cool. It really makes me think of the Hayabusa and the Katana in OG Halo 3, where you could only unlock that stuff by getting all the skulls and the achievements in the game. And it'd actually be pretty interesting to see if milestones in campaign will unlock stuff for you in multiplayer as well. So the next thing I'm looking forward to is the Academy and the addition of bots into Halo. As someone who's been playing Halo since CE, I don't know how much I'll personally be using this feature, but I am very glad that the option of warming up with bots or using weapon drills before I jump into matchmaking, I think that sounds really cool. I think it's a great way for people who aren't all too familiar with Halo to get into the swing of things instead of actually just jumping into multiplayer and just getting slaughtered by people who've been playing for 20 years at this point. So I'm hoping I'll finally be able to get my friends that I've been trying for years to play Halo with me will finally jump on board. I'm also really looking forward to Forge and seeing what that's going to be capable of. I don't really have the skill or the patience for Forge, but I always look forward to seeing what that community comes up with. Halo 5's Forge was insane, so I can't imagine what Infinite is going to be like. I'm also looking forward to see what 343's implementation of Forge is going to be. So what are they going to do to encourage forgers? I'd love to see like a Forge contest and like community features make a return. I thought that the olive helmet reward for forgers in Halo 5 that got their maps into matchmaking was such a cool idea, and I'd love to see something like that return in Infinite. It also would have been a huge miss if crossplay and cross progression weren't in the game. So I'm super excited to hear that that is actually going to be in Infinite. I play Halo on both Xbox and PC, so I'm really glad to see that cross progression is a thing. And I have friends who play on both PC and Xbox too. So I think crossplay is really the standard nowadays that all multiplayer games should strive for. So again, I'm very glad to see that that is going to be an Infinite. And the thing that makes me excited as well is the fact that all of this is free to play. That's going to allow so many more people to experience Halo on both Xbox and PC. And how could you not be excited about that? So that'll about do it for today's video, guys. So what are you excited for when it comes to Halo Infinite's multiplayer? New weapons, new maps, the customization options? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe. Again, I'm trying to hit 1,000 subs before the Infinite Flight this summer. So if we can hit that goal, that would be amazing. I'd really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Rapscallion out.